It's good. All right. Run a little bit late, but we have another episode of BS Busters, and this one is live and loaded. Sorry to get started a little late, but life happens. So, without much ado, before we get started, I would like my other panelists to introduce herself.
Sadly, it's only one. But salutations, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Joel Ryder. And
Yeah,
it's about time we kick some rear end and show Bull where it should go.
that is correct. That is correct. So it's me, Mr. Red Fox, and yeah, it's time to get down with the BS busting. Before we do, I just tell you what we have coming up. General news, gaming news. Then we're going to talk about 1 or 2 games we're looking out for this holiday season. Then we're going to talk about some of the trailers that were interesting to us about upcoming movies. Um, and then the main topic is going to be Capcom. WTF is the wrong with you? So that's going to be
Oh
the big one.
boy.
Yeah. And then after that, we have free topic along with any questions you may want to ask. The chat section, if you're watching us on YouTube, should be open. So if you want to ask a question, just put Q and then colon or semicolon and then what your question is. And that way I'll try and answer it because YouTube doesn't have a Q&A app because they are oh so
Douchebags.
smart. Oh so smart. Well, I mean, I was trying to be charitable, but really, the fact that
Hey,
I can't even
I'm sharp.
interact.
I'm sharper than you think with some of these comments, especially when it comes to nearly missing this broadcast.
Yeah, Google is. I mean, I sent this out multiple ways, so I don't know why they're all acting weird now, but whatever. It's Google. What can you expect?
Yeah.
It's Google. They're googly now, but whatever. They're googly. I don't know. That's not even a word. Damn it. So, without much ado, they're googly now. Without much ado, I guess we should get into the first topic, which is the news of the week. And
Who hit the top of the list this round?
we've got quite a bit of news this week to go through. So I guess we'll start with the bad news first. Ubisoft.
What did I do this time?
Well, apparently, some of the employees at Ubisoft were using some underhanded methods to. I'm reading the article now because I scanned it before, but I didn't really get in depth. But what I figured out is that they've essentially um, done some insider trading. I'll be right back. If you here's the link to the page where you can get all this information. Could you take it over for me?
Well, let's see what I can get first. Though, knowing Ubisoft, they probably just tried to do something blatantly obviously dumb, like trying to trade with another company and trying to make a monopoly.
Here's the link right here. Sorry.
And by the way, I'm glad that that's getting a sequel. Oh boy, this is gonna be a rich time. As I'll read this while he's gone, and Ubisoft sanctioned 1.27 million pounds or insider trading. Publisher issues state settlement and plans to appeal. And something tells me that they tried to pay off people for inside information. And oh god, that's dumb.
Okay, I'm back. Well, I mean, from what I've been able to discern, it seems to be a case of the rats leaving a sinking ship.
As in, they're telling people that things are not looking so good in here, and we're ready to run.
Well, basically, yeah, it's rats leaving a sinking ship. People um, are high ups, who are higher ups, are basically selling off their stock under the table because you're not supposed to dump your like if you are a shareholder and you also work at a company, you can't just dump your stock whenever you want to. There's like a rule. There's rules and regulations, and they didn't do that. And the reason I think that they did this was because basically, um, for lack of a better word, like the people on the inside know that Vivendi's going to take over Ubisoft. They're going to take it over, and Vivendi has the money to
They
do
don't
it.
want the. I was about to say they don't want Vivendi to start coming at their door.
Yeah, yeah, and Ubisoft brought this on themselves. I mean, they brought it on themselves, and
With how much quality they put out, it's it's a wonder that they even have problem.
well, yeah, I mean this all goes back to them basically creating broken games and accepting bullshit, and just going with it and stuff like that. And I mean, there's nothing
and
I can really
yearly
say. Excuse me.
and yearlies, as in
Um,
yearly games that apparently are coming out
yeah,
every
yeah,
time of the year,
yearly games coming
and
out
poor
every,
quality of that kind.
yeah, flooding the market with subpar games. This is the years of bad decision making, and now Ubisoft is good. Like, like people when they were like, "Oh man, they're gonna make," Michel Ancel is finally gonna get um, Beyond Good and Evil 2. That game should have been made years ago.
I was
you
about to
know
say that's late.
exactly. I mean, like it's too late. I mean that game should have been made at least. That game should have been out 5 years ago.
I was about to say
Like
2010.
yeah, Beyond Good and Evil should have been a launch game for the Wii U
The
and a launch game like day one for the PS4 and the Xbox One. Like, and just now they're. I mean, it's Ubisoft is a hot mess. I mean, there's no other way I can put it.
Let's put it lightly.
Yeah. Oh well. Um.
I call it dumpster fire.
Yeah, it's a dumpster fire. But before there was a fire, someone took the dumpster with the juice that was that nasty, disgusting juice at the bottom from everything that's decomposed and drank it, and and who that was Ubisoft. Then they lit it on fire.
Ugh.
Yeah, I
Thank
know
you
that's
for
disgusting,
thank you for the imagery.
but it's
The truth.
it's apt. Yeah, it's apt. It's very appropriate for what's going on over there. So yeah, now that we got that bad news out the way, let's get the other bad news out the way. We got two more stories, very quick. Um, Crytek is not playing their employees yet again.
I'm sorry. Did you say what I think you said? The employees getting zero in their bank accounts.
Well, they're delaying their payments. Like this happened in 2014, but they're doing it yet again because it's
Layoffs.
well, they already laid off some people 2 years ago. They had a workforce of 700, and
I wouldn't be
and
surprised if
they
at 5,000 now.
well, they had 700 and they laid off 200, so now they're at 500, and now they're missing their payroll yet again. All this stuff happened when Crytek started offering their engine for free, which is kind of, a problem.
I was about to say, selling your engine is I mean, having your engine go for free, that's a bit of a risk because if I remember right, if you set a certain price and people keep going under it, you're not gonna see any green.
Well, yeah, because I mean, they don't get paid unless the game that uses their engine gets like sells a certain threshold, and like it's tiered for different types of people. So if you're indie, like I think it's like 500,000. If you're like double A or triple A, then it goes into the millions. But I mean, if and plus
With how,
a lot of companies are using in-house engines. So I mean,
and
you're
that
not seeing as many using Crytek.
and people wonder why the people people wonder why the game industry is about to crash when people say no, it's not. It's gonna be all right while burning
Yeah,
on fire right up their pants.
there's no problem. Everyone's okay. So
I believe
basically,
that. I believe that. I believe that. Uplay is a safe environmental service to play all your Ubisoft games.
yeah.
So,
So
oh god, that was cheesy.
we have someone here who was anonymous who works there, but they don't want their identity being told. They say salaries not have not been arriving on time since the last 6 months with no heads up from the management or the owners. Um, every time is the last time this happens. No apologies or explanations were offered. The employee finally said that the founding brothers, Savat Avni and Farouk Yearly, finally decided to address this issue on a company meeting, but dodged all the specific questions and promised that the situation is now resolved once and for all. That complaint was dated October 9th.
October 9th. Oh god, that's a month and a day old.
Yeah, but according to certain people in the YouTube gamosphere, the industry is fine. Nothing to see here. Um, so we have one more bit of bad news before we get to something good that's going to make us all happy. Well, mostly. Um, Majesco. Majesco.
If I remember
Majesco.
right, that didn't that close recently?
Well, they went from releasing games to like full games to doing downloadable only, and then just indies, and now they're getting out of it entirely,
Uh,
which is sad because I mean Majesco has kind of a
been around
no pun intended
for ages.
ma- majestic history um, of game publishing. Here, let
Dang.
me see Majesco. There we go. Majesco started in 1986. They're old. In 1986, they've merged with Polarity TE, which is a medical device company. But Majesco started by making games for the Nintendo and Sega systems. I mean, they're old. I mean, they are old, and they've put out a lot of stuff. I mean, they are old school, and it's
Dang.
just sad. I mean, these people helped publish Cooking Mama, um, like a lot of Cooking Mama games,
I'm sorry, but
and
that nearly made me laugh since I never played that series.
it's I want to say it's kind of like Order Up, which is uh,
That's a game I know because I actually hold it on me.
yeah, I bought that game. I also downloaded the 3DS version, but it's kind of like Order Up, except more in depth with more content. But yeah, they Cooking Mama. I mean, it's a lot of middleware type stuff, but they also did A Boy and His Blob, the Wii version, which is a friggin' great game.
Really?
Yeah,
Whoa.
they helped publish Blood Rain, um, uh, like a lot of like. they were a middleware company. They also did Double Dragon Neon. I mean, like they did a lot of like mid-level stuff, like in the middle.
That's a little sad because people keep saying this. It's AAA or indie.
Well,
And
they were one of the middle market. They were. I mean, they weren't to the level of THQ, but maybe a tier or two lower, and they're
that's what I'm
gone.
thinking about because if games if games keep on being either try A or zero, or indie, that's not a lot of room for people that I want to get in on the market
Well, there's no
want
middle market, you know.
want something that's not too high and not too underdeveloped.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no middle market, and the thing is like if you don't have a middle market in this industry, because I mean, you don't start out at the top. You need that middle market. Like I mean, to give a sports analogy, normally in sports, people they start in elementary school and then they go to junior high and then high school. That's your lower tier, and then they go to college, right? And college is your middle market because from
Mhm.
there you're either going to go pro or you're going to do something else. But a lot of people who go pro are recruited from college, and that's your middle market. Like you need that middle market there so that these people have a stepping stone. And the middle market has been shrinking over the last 10, 15 years, which is not good. It's not good when the middle market people are
It's
just
sad to me
disappearing.
already, though, that the middle market's nearly evaporated. If anything, I barely see anything, even from the one system that I like seeing certain games of all kinds.
Yeah, yeah, it's sad. It's sad. So, in order to wash out
Bitter.
bitter taste out of our mouths, we're going to look at something that's a little more of a nicer quality, which is, um, let's see here. Um, this is if you own a PC. There's a nice trailer here where the people over at Sky Oblivion are doing a total world conversion mod using assets from Skyrim to recreate Elder Scrolls Oblivion. If you like that game, but you thought it was a little too archaic in some places, boom, here you go, folks.
Hmm, that's an interesting mod.
Yeah, I
Too
am.
bad. No, too bad. Some of the systems are not going to be able to see it. Hmm.
Yeah, if you own an Xbox One or PS4, you'll never be able to play this game. So, boohoo for you. But if you got a PC,
And thus, I see somebody in the background with blonde hair and saying that they're the PC master race. Hey, you
uh,
down in front.
I, it's not so much that it's just like the amount of modding, the amount of file modification that this game will have. I don't think you'd be able to get that. That they'd allow mods that big on a PS4 or Xbox
Hmm.
One, because
Not
it's a
without a
total
lot of
world
memory
conversion mod.
hogging.
It's a total world conversion mod. There's new because Oblivion was actually a bigger game in terms of scope and scale than Skyrim, in terms of like the amount of things going on and stuff like that. So
Dang.
yeah. So with that being said, let's uh, I would talk about some Nintendo news, but uh,
It's slow
I
as
mean,
molasses out here, isn't it?
yeah, it's a very slow week for Nintendo news, unless you want to talk about Pokemon, which I don't because I haven't I haven't even played Pokemon
Heh.
Sun or Moon because I've splurged about both of them. I haven't played either of them yet. So
I'll just say this right now. I I got my own complaints about them, but I'll save that for when there's people that played it.
yeah, like I haven't played them. Like I plugged them in and it's like I just I'm sorry. I
So
just
I'm
haven't.
gonna say this right up front. Why the heck is people so happy about the story taking front and center?
Yeah, I won't get into it. Um, so our second topic is well, now we just talked about is games to look out for. So, are there any games that you're really looking forward to this holiday season, aside from um,
The obvious.
the obvious games? Like, is there something that you've either played or you want to play? It doesn't have to be new. It could be something that you just wanna that you're looking forward to playing this holiday season.
Sadly, I'm the only thing I'm trying to wait. The sad thing is I'm not trying to see anything go too far ahead, at least as far as this year, which
Um, Fair enough.
which kind of locks me out on that note.
Well, I hate to say this, but like I've really been looking forward to some DLC that's coming to Shadow Blade 2. Um, I've been looking for sorry, Shadow Warrior 2. I've been looking forward to that.
I'm sorry, I had to blink for a bit because I already got enough of the facepalm of DLC being looked forward to from the VGAs.
Yeah, but I mean, this is free DLC, and
Hey,
it comes to the system anyway. It just adds more content. So I was looking for like Shadow Blade's a fun game. I just was looking forward to it. Um, and Shantae, I know it's already come out, but or yeah, it's already come out, but I'm looking forward to getting my hands on it. I'm going to download it for my Wii U. So looking forward to that game. That's it. They're just those two games. I'm
well,
an
that's
easy man to I'm an easy man to please. I'm not I don't need a lot of stuff.
well for me. I'm more the picky kind, so if anything, I at least try to wait out for things. But well, when when things don't come up, it kind of gets dry for you.
All right. All right. So speaking of things to look forward to coming up in the future, um, got a couple of movies that released some trailers this week that I kind of caught my eye. The first one we'll talk about is the Spider-Man Homecoming trailer, which I
The
mean,
Spider-Man one is pretty interesting as far as I saw it, and it is pretty neat. But thankfully, it's back in the hands of Marvel and not of Sony.
yeah, and I just there were some things that I kind of noticed in the trailer that kind of brought a smile to my face a little bit, like um, the costume Spider-Man's using in the film is the old school 1960s Jack Kirby costume with the little wing things under the arms, the web
The
wing.
web.
Yeah,
I was about to say the web wings.
yeah.
Tony Stark would be laughing his rear end off.
Well, I mean, they're going old school, which I like. They've uh, they've got Michael Keaton as the villain. He's the Vulture, and the cool thing is that Michael Keaton is like Darth Vader, where he says to Obi-Wan Kenobi, "The circle is now complete," because Michael Keaton really made his mark in cinema as Batman, and then recently he was nominated for an Oscar for playing Birdman, which
Oh God, I almost burst
they
into
treated
saying that
well,
line.
they treated it as a generic character, but Hanna Barbera created a TV show back in the '60s called Birdman, um, and and here he is. Hanna Barbera also made the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends cartoon
Watched it on
along with
Boomerang.
Fantastic Four. Yeah, and now it's come full circle because he's playing the Vulture on in the Marvel universe as Spider-Man. I mean, it's I'm like Darth Vader. The circle is now complete. It's amazing, and we know that Michael Keaton has the chops to play this character, and I think it's going to be awesome. I'm going to be laughing my ass off when I watch this film. Probably be have a fanboy fangasm out because eh, we haven't had a good Spider-Man movie since Spider-Man 2. You know, like
Mhm.
Spider-Man 3, it was not a good movie, but there were parts of it that were redeemable. But we haven't had a good Spider-Man movie since Spider-Man 2, like a whole entire movie. Good. Like the first Spider-Man, I liked it, but there were parts of it where I was like, Spider-Man 2 was good all around. Spider-Man 3, like I said, was not a good movie,
Meh.
but there were parts that were good. The fight scene in the subway where Spider-Man's wearing the black suit and he's fighting Sandman and he grinds his face on the side of the train. That was actually a pretty cool fight. It's like, yeah.
And
But
then we get to the Amazings,
oh god. Um, and
and we can talk about them. The less, the better.
well, all I'll say about the Amazing Spider-Man is that it's amazing how bad those films were. And it's also amazing how bad those special effects were in those films compared to what they were able to pull off in Spider-Man 2, 1, and even 3 to an extent under Sam Raimi. Like, I don't know how the technology could get better, but it looks shittier. That makes no sense to me, but
Isn't that
um,
what the gaming industry is doing at the moment? Making games so pretty and yet falling so flat on their face it hurts.
well, but it's not just a Sony thing. It's not just gaming. I mean, like I recently watched Jurassic World again, and I was watching it, and I'm like, these special effects are shit. And then
I
I
was
watched,
saying, isn't that in the gaming industry too? That's what I was saying.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's sad how these two things parallel each other because gamers and publishers are always saying, well, the technical limitations are what's keeping our games from reaching their full potential. And I say the opposite. I say limitations are what basically make you be
Inspire.
creative. Yeah, creative to get around those limitations and make you make better games. Because I'm going to tell you the truth. Like RPGs, especially JRPGs, have not been that good in the seventh and eighth gens overall.
And I'm gonna facepalm it remembering this line. Best RPG goes to what again?
Oh God,
Yes,
we
because I could go into a full out fire rage with that.
we'll get into that. I mean, we'll get further into that. I mean, if anything, it should have been Pokemon Sun and Moon because that's an RPG technically speaking. It came out this year, but whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll go into my two big rages for for certain topics on when when we get to the free for alls.
yeah. So our second trailer was for a film about some characters that most people, when the first film came out, did not give a crap about. No one cared, and Marvel made us care. Marvel made us care about a an abducted human, a green-skinned Zoe Saldana, tatted out uh, Batista, um,
A
and
tree and a raccoon.
a tree and a raccoon, and it was amazing. And then,
I got introduced to them for the animated series, but knowing that their movie two is coming out, ooh,
well, I'm one of those nerdy people that like knew about like Guardians of the Galaxy before the film, but I was used to like I read early Guardian of the Galaxy before Star Lord and Peter Quill and Gamora and all those characters came in. Like I'm OG, so I didn't know who the hell these. Well, I was familiar with
dang,
them, but I didn't know they were.
that's old for you. For me, as I said, I was introduced to them via the animated series.
It was the '70s when it came out, so like these are old comics, and I was just like, oh shit, oh this is cool. Like they said Yondu's in it. I'm like Yondu. Okay, because Yondu in the original thing was one of the Guardians of the Galaxy in the comics, and then they made him into a villain with Michael Rooker. I'm not going to get upset by that because he was a cool character, and he was cooler in the movie than he is in the comics. Even though in the comics he's still pretty cool too. But then they showed this trailer, and it looks great. Know nothing about the story, but they've got some good things there. But there's one thing that stood out to me in this trailer, and I think you might agree with me. Um, and I wish I could give Disney my money because I want one of those baby Groots. I want one of those baby Groots.
Oh God!
It's so cute.
I can only imagine how much of a fangasm you have if that was true.
Well, they're gonna make it, and Disney knew when they put that little cute little bastard in there that they were gonna get people were gonna be like, oh man, I'm gonna have to get that toy. And now, if they're making if they make a stuffed of Baby Groot, I'm gonna get it. And I have no problems telling people that I have a weakness for cute small things. I do. It's my only real weakness. That's why I have a dog.
And probably why you hide your Yoshis.
Well, I don't have. I mean, I do have the Yoshi amiibos, but I have small, cute things in my house. Like I have the slime collections from Dragon Quest because they're small and cute. I have like little, small, cute things that I got from Japan. I just, for some reason, I love.
I was remembering the story from your and you try to hide your cute things for a reason.
Well, yeah, because she'll take them. She's like, "Oh, this is cute. I want it." I'm like, damn it. Or either that, or I'll buy two of them and I'll hide one, and she'll take it. She's like, I'm taking this. I'm like, go ahead. I've got another one. But that's my only real weakness: small, cute things. Except cats. I don't like cats. But if it's a puppy or something small and cute, I lose my mind when it's small and cute.
I was about to say, somehow cats is the only thing immune to your cute meter.
I don't like cats. It's weird, but I don't like cats. I'm not a cat person. So
funny enough, I'm a dog person myself.
yeah, I like dogs. I'm not a cat person. But which I mean, there's really no way to segue this, but which leads to our main topic, which is
Capcom or Crapcom.
What the fuck is wrong with you? What seriously? What's wrong with Capcom? Come on.
I could start with the newest fighting game that's coming, Infinite. But where are you starting at?
Why don't we start with Infinite first? You go first, and I'll get anything that you miss if you miss anything. Go ahead.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm wondering how the haze are they thinking about putting another fighting game out after they basically shot themselves in the foot with another fighting game. I mean, seriously?
That's a fair assessment, and you're right. I mean, how are you gonna get that taken care of when you can't even do, like, how can I trust you with that when you can't even do this?
And my dancing bear of them, Akuma plus 4 of our fighters are coming soon to Street Fighter V.
Yeah, they're like, well, Akuma will make everything else better. No, it won't. That's like someone saying, "Yeah, I stomped on your crotch, but hey,
here's
$20." It's like, you stomped on my crotch. $20 is not gonna make me feel better. $20 is just $20. Really, that's really, you stomped on my crotch, and you think $20 is gonna make everything just okay?
That's like trying to That's like trying to say, I'm a medic. And he'll cut you open, put salt in your wound, then put the bandage on and say, all done.
Hey, what are you crying for? I mean, yeah, you know, here's here's $5. It's like, no, no, that's not cool, dude.
Yes, that's so wrong. It's painful. And they're expecting us to get a Enver a Marvel versus Capcom game, and there's already some trouble with some of this as well because some of the Marvel All Stars that usually show up on this game, show up in those games, they're apparently getting the boot.
Mm, um, yeah, but they'll probably try and add them with DLC because they always want an excuse to nickel and dime you more. Because this is Capcom we're talking about. That's what they like to do: nickel and diming people with stuff that should be there in the first place.
And barely any change or any real functionality of gameplay balance is kept in mind.
Well, I mean, they're basically using the same engine they used with Street Fighter Five. So, I mean, it. This is Capcom,
Though
bare
they
minimum.
pull off though they pull off some of the stupidest stunts already.
They are the bare minimum kings. We do the bare minimum, and you should be happy. We only do the bare minimum.
Yeah. And by the way, if anybody says that this is like Splatoon and we're getting all these for free, I
Yeah.
got one digit for you.
Yeah.
And everybody can guess what it is.
Yeah, we have that. We know exactly which digit you're talking about. But yeah, I have to, I'm tired of people saying, well, it's like Splatoon. No, not really. No, because Splatoon, like whether you want to agree or not, Splatoon was basically a complete game day one. Okay, it had a beginning, it had a middle, it had multiplayer, it had
Single player.
single player, it
It
had
had local multiplayer,
it had
which
local
was iffy.
multiplayer, it had you know it,
Unlockables.
it had unlockables. I mean, basically, it had like almost everything in that game you can get just by playing the game. The multiplayer stuff is just added bonuses. Um,
I think I heard somebody in the background. They were saying, "What about amiibos?"
the amiibo stuff is what I was going to say is the one thing, but I mean, none of the amiibo equipment is really,
Required.
yeah, it's not required. Like it
And
looks
Callie
cool.
Marie are not required either.
Yeah, it looks cool, but it's not like, oh my god, if I don't have this outfit that makes me look like Darth Vader with paint, this game is over. Like, people need to understand these things and stop being so kiddie about it. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Funny how they're acting kitty on something that's supposed to be a toy for kids, and yet, oh gods, the idiots are advertising it for adults.
yeah. So yeah, people need to just chill out. Just chill. Just chill out. You know.
What's your flavor of Capcom?
Um, I mean, like, here's the thing. I'm a Marvel versus Capcom fanboy, but even I realize that a lot of this is bullshit. So I have to say that, I mean, until like I would, I I'll probably get this game, but it will probably be 6 to 8 months, 6 to 9 months after launch. Like I'm not gonna get it the day of. I'll probably wait.
I was about to say 6 to 8 months, and probably $50 and probably $30 cheaper.
Yeah, like I'm not paying full price for this game. If it's a good sale, I might get it, but I'm not buying it day one. I'm gonna wait because Capcom has shown that they cannot be trusted if you give them your money day one because it's Capcom. They don't care.
I was about to say Who are we? Who are we to give you good games and quality fighters? It's Capcom!
You know, and the sad thing is that Capcom hasn't made a quality game in years, really, in my opinion.
And I was about to say, when your when your fighting game gets outshadowed by somebody's first attempt, boy oh boy, do you need some training back in your life, or get yourself readjusted.
Yeah, that's embarrassing, but that's Capcom for you. You know, hey guys, we're gonna mess up because that's what we do. We're Capcom. We like messing up, y'all.
And people are saying that, and if I remember right, somebody said that Street Fighter went from some speed to turtle to molasses to comatose with their Street Fighter series.
Yeah, the speed did get worse.
For
It
me,
used to be
it's
a lot
kind of
faster.
I kind of I'm kind of a mix with speed because in a sense I feel Street Fighter 4 was kind of there, but not the way that I would see perfect speed to keep up with the game.
I can see that.
I'd say somewhere between 3 and 4, that's what I mean.
I mean, personally,
Because
personally, I think that the fastest they got, like the fastest, I would think three. I think three. I think three was too fast for the average gamer. I think four was like I think four, especially if you get like the arcade version that has everything. Um, like I think four is the balance between a three and a two. Um, and I think five is just too damn slow. I mean,
it's turtle slow.
it's very.
And all for what? Shing! Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle.
I mean, I know what they were going for. I know they were trying to create a game that would appeal to a wide audience. I get it, but seriously,
Yeah, but that quality of a net, yeah, even I can see that's so full of holes that you might as well have a whale swim through it.
I mean, I get it. They wanted to create something that would be, um, open to a
Wide
large
region
group
as
of
a
people.
net.
I get it, but seriously, um, that was not cool.
Yeah.
But this is Capcom, and that's what they do.
So we kind of hit the same mark there.
Which segues nicely into the next part of this topic, which is um, one of my personal favorites, Dead Rising.
You're gonna talk about number 4, aren't you?
Yeah, Dead Rising 4, where if you want to get the full game, you got to buy DLC.
Fuck! That's bullshit.
And you can't say, well, okay, well, clearly there was too much stuff going on because the game was just it was just going to be too expensive because some
If you
bullshit
have
reason.
if you have the DLC, hold your true ending. That is a failure on you, you freaking beeps. Beep.
Well, I mean, it's on them because let's think about it. Like, you can't say, well, we were busy trying to get this to work on enough other systems because it's an Xbox One exclusive. It's only on Windows 10.
And
So,
that's why I said it's bullshit.
yeah, I mean, you can't say that, it wasn't someone else. It wasn't someone else. So, I mean, there's only one thing to say at this point, and that is, Capcom, you done fucked up again. They can't help themselves. They just can't help themselves.
Yeah, they might as well be hiding in the bathroom and waiting until their diarrhea runs out.
Basically,
And while you're at it, flush this turd of a game with it.
it's sad. It's a sad, sad day for gaming. Oh well.
The crash can't come soon enough.
That's the world we live in.
Yeah.
So now that we've talked about Dead Rising, where apparently, they just, I realize that Capcom desperately needs the money, but seriously, really, this is what you're going to do, Capcom. This is what you're going to do.
Just get out of here if you're doing that stunt.
Oh well, it's Capcom. They don't understand the meaning of, hey man,
Quality.
don't screw over people. It's not cool.
Let's see, they don't understand quality, they don't understand customer service, they don't understand legacies.
Well, they already shot their legacy in the ass years ago. So,
Point.
what does Capcom care about legacy?
I think the only legacy that they got left from, as far as I know, is the legacy of green.
Well, I mean, things were a lot better when gaming companies were independent. And that's all I'll say about that.
We can get into that another time.
Yeah, which leads to our final section, which is free topic, which um, uh, Jewel Writer had something she wanted to say. So go ahead. I'll let you take the floor. What topic did you want to bring to free topic?
How the Hades are games like games that are not RPGs and that are not really handhelds supposed to win the game of the year? Their games of the years. I really get pissed off about this a lot. I mean, seriously, Pokemon Go? Beep you! I saw better games with Puzzles and Dragons. I mean, earlier this year, I had better gameplay than than what they were offering with the handheld section.
Fair enough, but I mean, let's keep it real. The VGA is a popularity contest. It's not actually anything that's of merit.
Actually, this is a point of where I say the gaming industry is full of peeps.
Well, it is, but I mean, if people don't care about uh, the artistic merit of games, which is what they're trying to basically increase the artistic merit of games, but they don't actually talk about it.
Yes, but the two biggest gripes I have is this one and the next thing I'm going to speak about, which I will get into in a bit. No, don't worry about that. But how the heck are you supposed to say that Pokemon Go is the best handheld? I mean, sure you're giving this to Nintendo, which I say is a gimme because seriously, you cannot hide the handheld from Nintendo.
Well, you can try. You can try and take the handheld from Nintendo, but I mean, we can go out back and look at those motherfuckers that Nintendo buried in the backyard who tried to take the handheld from Nintendo. We can go look at their graves. The Sega Game Gear, the Sega Nomad, the TurboGrafx Portable,
And
um,
the Vita line.
the
The PlayStation
PSP,
line.
the Vita, the Wonder Swan, the Neo Geo Pocket, the Neo Geo Pocket Color. Um, yeah, I mean, that's eight. That's eight people who's like, man, we could take the crown from the king. And the king said, oh, really? Okay, go ahead.
And he Shingoku Setsu their ends.
He's like, I'll even give you the first hit. and they hit him, and the king just looked at him and said, really? That's all you got? let me show you why they call me the king. And I mean, I hate to say it. Well, actually, I don't hate to say it because it's always funny to me when people try and go up against
Yeah,
Nintendo in the
like
handheld sphere.
Dan Hibiki versus Akuma. I mean,
Well, Dan Hibiki versus anyone because Dan Hibiki is just a loser.
I was saying that the difference is like putting Dan versus a boss character.
Yeah, yeah. Dan is such a sad, sad little man.
And sorry for any Dan fans out there, but seriously, he gets walloped like a whipped boy.
Little kid beat Dan, so I don't feel sorry for him. The two fights he won was because people felt sorry for him. It's not because he was actually that
Gimme.
strong. So, yeah, Dan. No one cares, Dan. No one cares.
Yeah. And that's the end of my rant for the handhelds. But now for the other thing. Oh god, boo. How the Hades are RPGs getting so blurred that they can't be told apart? I mean, come on! I know what real RPGs are, and I bet you even the game of the year or most of the games that were on that list are not beeping RPGs.
Well, I would say, technically speaking, The Witcher isn't really an RPG. Not really,
I mean, the clo- I mean, you might as well consider Kingdom Hearts an RPG.
which it isn't, but people,
Yeah, I can. I mean, it pisses me off to no end hearing people say, "This is an RPG. This is an RPG. This is an RPG. This is an RPG." Are you beeping kidding me?
Well, it kind of reminds me when I was a kid and I used to rent games and I'd go to the rental section and they'd have it divided into sports, action, adventure, um, simulation. If you were lucky, they had a sim section, and then they'd have the RPG section, and the RPG section would have games that weren't really RPGs, like Illusion of Gaia, not really an RPG. Um, Secret of Evermore, kind of an RPG, but not really. Legend of Zelda, definitely not an RPG.
It's an adventure for star's sake.
Yeah, it's an adventure game. Technically speaking, The Legend of Zelda is more in the it's an action adventure game
Yes,
with exploration and environmental puzzles, but like
RPG it is not.
it's not an RPG. No.
I
Um,
mean, I have to wonder who in the heck could make The Legend of Zelda an RPG. If a true RPG for star's sake.
I mean, I'll take it a step further. I would say that even Pokemon really, and I love Pokemon, I really do, but Pokemon really isn't like an RPG in the classical sense of the term. And I know some people are going to get mad. Oh no, but no, think about
What?
it. I'll
Sorry, you got me for that one. I was
I'll
in that
explain.
crowd, so you better explain.
I'll explain myself. Think about it like this, okay? An RPG at its core is where your character becomes stronger through their own efforts. In Pokemon, it's not really your main character doing anything, it's the Pokemon doing everything. Your main character doesn't get any stronger or faster or learn any new special abilities. Everything that happens to your main character, male or female, is an artifice of them finding something or being given something. You want to run faster? Well, someone gave you some running shoes. You want to use a special move? Well, guess what? You found a Z move thing, or it was given to you, or you earned it through some convoluted means.
I
And
can believe you on that because if anything, I believe that Pokemon is an RPG, but not in the usual sense.
well, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. In the strictest sense, it's not really an RPG. Does it have a lot of RPG elements? Yeah. I mean, you have leveling, you have a party
I mean,
that you.
the only exception to this would be the Mystery Dungeon series, and that's
That's an RPG. Like, really, the Mystery Dungeon is a straight up RPG.
yeah.
It's a straight up RPG. Pokemon is more like, the best way I could describe Pokemon is that it's Pokemon is basically kind of like a sim RPG because you're simulating the life of a Pokemon trainer, raising Pokemon and fighting people with those Pokemon. Kind of like you would simulate being an owner of a team, of a sports team or some junk. Except the
Hmm.
sport is making wild animals beat the shit out of each other until they faint.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I said it. I said it. There, it's animal cruelty. Damn it.
And I got flame shields in case you're going for that reason.
I'm being facetious, but it is kind of cool to make them fight each other. That's why
Yeah.
Gary will never be champion because he only cared about strengths and types, and he never bonded with his Pokemon. Bastard. Sorry, blue oak. But
Yeah, I go for Gary Blue Oak.
yeah. Um, Plus, we all know Professor Oak was totally going with Ash's mom, or sorry, not Ash, Red's mom, which
Delilah.
is terrible.
Yeah.
That is terrible. That is absolutely terrible.
Yeah. But then again, I'll I at least say this. That's more of an RPG than of all the things I'm gonna say it. Dead Space.
Someone's called Dead Space an RPG. What?
At least by what I last heard.
Oh God, no. Dead Space is a action horror game at best. Not a very good one though.
And if anything, I'm gonna say this politely as I can. If you honestly are gonna say that something is an RPG that doesn't give you real tactics that can be thought out and processed at your own leisure, and then you see your consequences in a sense, like the Final Fantasy series before it went to 12 or 11, really.
Final Fantasy before it went to shit.
Thank you very much.
That's a long time ago. A long time ago in a galaxy far away.
And don't give me the bullshit that the 13s and 15 are like the 10 or like Final Fantasy 10.
No, no. I finally got. I'm at like the final part of that game right now, and I would really like to have a talk with people who like that game. Uh,
13.
yeah, 15.
Oh god, I almost fainted because I thought you were going for 13.
No. The people who like 13, I'm just like that's indefensible.
Yeah, I mean, I heard somebody say that they like 13 because of a certain charm, and Final Fan- that Final Fantasy 13 2 was the better game of the three.
So, Final Fantasy 13 2 was them attempting to do Chrono Trigger badly. It and it wasn't done very well. Like
And if they remember right, they did the same thing as um the as our least favorite Capcom game that has its DLC behind a paywall. I mean, that's ended behind a paywall.
yeah, I mean, but they're adding additional content with downloads that they're probably going to charge for because Square Enix desperately needs the money because they don't know how to manage their budgets. But that's not my problem.
Yeah, and this is supposed to have been 13 verses.
Well, technically speaking, it was supposed to be 13 Verses was supposed to be a PS2 game. So this game basically skipped two generations because it was supposed to come out on the PS2 originally, and then it jumped to the uh, the PS is supposed to come out to the PS3, and then it jumped to that generation, and it jumped to the PS4. So it jumped two generations, and that is, I mean,
That's
whatever.
resource burn.
Yeah, millions of dollars spent on this game, and it finally sees the light of day now.
It's never gonna get where it's supposed to.
No, I don't think it is. I mean, and the
I mean,
sad thing is
this
that
is no GTA for Star's sake.
no, no, it's not. Like, I mean, let me put this way: best case scenario, this game will break even. Worst case scenario, they will lose a lot of money on it. But it's not going to be. It, there's not going to be a happy ending for this game. Let me put it that way. Which is why Square Enix is putting out titles such as Final Fantasy Explorers and Dragon Quest 8 and 9 and 10. Well, not 10 because for some reason they won't release 10, but Dragon Quest 9, 8 and 7 re-releases because I mean they have to do something to make their money back.
And sadly, if I remember right, that's going to be a little pocket change for them compared to
Well,
the money that they've lost.
well, partially. I think they'll make their money back because they already made a profit off of these games in Japan. Like what they took to make those games, all they really have to pay for is the localization. But they have Nintendo footing that, so
As I
you know.
said, pocket change.
So it won't be that bad, I don't think. I do think that it's not going to be as good as people think it's going to be, but you know, Square Enix has kind of gone downhill, and it's something that as a Square Enix fan, well, not SquareSoft fan, I didn't want to see Square Enix downhill like it has, but I cannot deny facts. You know, I can't be like, oh no, man, it's not that bad. Yeah, it's that bad. Okay, it is that bad. I can't be like, oh no, man, it's not bad. Yeah, it is.
And everybody keeps saying that everything is awesome. All the while they're burning.
I don't want anyone saying, oh no, it's not that bad. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is that bad.
I mean, seriously, ever since Square took the money from PlayStation to run away from Nintendo,
Yeah, yeah. That was kind of like the beginning of the downfall of Square Enix as a company. And people don't want to hear that because they're in their head, in people's heads, they think Square Enix. A lot of people equate Square Enix with what they used to be, which was SquareSoft, but they're not like that anymore. So, which is sad because when they were SquareSoft, they were awesome. Square Enix,
that's what happens when you eat up your competition.
well, yeah, there's no competition, and no competition is not good. People don't understand that. They think that, oh no, it was because I was one of those people. I was like, man, we'll get like the best RPGs ever. Shit.
To be honest with you, I was actually curious of how it would go because two big companies of RPG legend going as one, that was an experiment.
I thought it was going to be awesome, but it was not. It was the opposite of awesome. It was how do I put these?
Disastrous.
It was shit.
And you said that I was that you were putting it lightly. I did it later than you.
Well, I mean, I could go deeper, but I'm not going to because I mean, if we could you could do an entire podcast about how downhill Square Enix has gone over the years, but I won't.
Heck, we could do that about Capcom and other studios.
Yeah, we could. Then that's why I'm not going to do it because it's too easy. It's too easy to sit there and go, man, you've been messing up. You've been effing up, Capcom. you
I
know,
mean, we could do a top 10 list of the worst things certain companies done.
very easily. But I won't because it's too easy. I mean, it's literally too easy to do that. So I won't.
Yeah, and people are gonna say you could do that about Nintendo.
Yeah, I could, but the thing is that overall, Nintendo hasn't really gone downhill over the years. If you want to talk about someone going, and I know what some people say that that's subjective, but let's think about it. Let's really evince that. Have their franchises gone down in quality? Your perception of them may have changed, but overall, the quality of their games has remained relatively steady over the years. As a matter of fact, a lot of their games have gotten better.
I was about to
Now,
say they gotten type of quality that you would find somebody trading a super rare exclusive foil card.
Um, yeah, I mean, basically, I mean, the quality of their games has gone up dramatically, and no one ever talks about that. They're just like, no, man, it's not true. Legend of Zelda is blah 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 blah, whatever.
So
I
you
mean,
want
like
to
I
hear
said,
something really
people.
stupid for a moment?
Go
And I'm
ahead.
probably going to make you lose brain cells for this. Someone actually suggested that what should happen is, then what should be Zelda's role then if she's not supposed to be part of the game? She's supposed to be knocked up by Ganon? And somebody actually said, yes.
That's disgusting. But
The reason why I say it's a loss of brain cells to me because who the heck thinks that kind of beeping logic?
the creepy thing to me is that people don't seem to understand that. I mean, they're aside from the very first Legend of Zelda, chronologically, which thus far they've gone with Skyward Sword.
Mm-hmm.
But generally speaking, like Zelda doesn't really have a romantic relationship. She forsakes her sense of self and duty to her country, her nation, which is Hyrule. So, like, like it would be weird for her to have a romantic relationship. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Mm-hmm.
but hey, what do I know? I'm just some dude. Um, I'm just some guy. Um, so yeah, um, that's it. I just wanted to say that. Uh, I find it hilarious that people are like, no, man, Legend of Zelda is. I don't know who said that, but that is really stupid.
Trust me, if you found out whoever said that, you probably be smacking your. Oh, I think I found out who it is. I just remembered. You know somebody named Maelstrom? Maelstrom?
I've heard of him. Are you sure he wasn't joking?
I'm checking it right now to be sure about it because if what he said is true, I'm gonna face palm hard enough to bleed for a moment.
Okay,
I'll give you the link. I'll give you the link if you want.
that would just be weird. I'm just saying that. I mean,
So
yeah.
read at your own risk.
I mean, not to mention. I mean, if I was Ganon, I mean, I hate to say this, but Princess Zelda's a little too pasty and uh, pale looking. I mean, he's the king of the Gerudos. I think the Gerudo women are way hotter than Zelda, and he's the only male Gerudo. His real job really is to make more Gerudos. So, I mean, that would be more appropriate for him than. I mean, Zelda. I know she's royalty,
Yeah,
but I
enough
mean,
said.
eh.
There's better. There's better. There's better things to tap than that card.
I mean, let's keep it real. In Ocarina of Time, the first time we had a 3D model of Zelda, I mean, let's keep it real. Naburu, sorry, yeah, that was her name. Naburu was way hotter than Zelda. I mean, let's just keep it real. She was. I mean, let's. I mean, really. I mean, even Link was like, "Wait a second." I mean, I mean, come on, man.
You
Her,
see better
she's hot.
possibilities here.
I mean, she's hot. I mean, that's how you know Ganondorf, despite all of his power, is not that bright. Because if I was the only male Gerudo and my job was to create more Gerudo, and the Gerudo women, most of them are really, 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 really hot and dark
Why
skinned.
waste all that?
Why, why, why would I go with pasty, pale, sickly Princess Zelda? I mean, not to mention, to me, the first Legend of Zelda games I played were the first. 3 games for the NES and the SNES. So her illustrations in that made her look like a little kid, which, you know,
To be honest, my first was Link to the Past.
well, I mean, the first one that I played and I knew what was going on was Link to the Past, but I had played The Legend of Zelda on the NES and Link's Adventure, uh, Legend of Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. I'd played that too, so it was like I played those before this, but I didn't know what was going on. But I mean, like, I
Oh
mean,
God, I just realized. Yeah, I read that. I read that right.
that's just, I mean, that just seems like a relatively stupid thing to do, but that's just me. So, with that being said, we have any other questions here? Um,
Crickets, 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 crickets.
no, no, we have no questions here. Um, so, any other things you want to bring up before we wrap things up? Because I have nothing. I got nothing to bring up. I I think I've exhausted everything I want to say. I mean, I fanboyed out about Spider-Man: Homecoming. I fanboyed out about Guardians of the Galaxy and how I want Baby Groot. Uh,
Well, I got at least one question to ask before you sign off,
okay, go ahead.
and this is to at least cover me before I enter the week of finals. have you have you gotten your Christmas shopping done? Because I'm at least being sure about my things before I say my Christmas shopping's closed.
I already did my Christmas shopping. Everyone that I know is getting a card with an Amazon gift card for between $50 to $150 because Amazon has everything. So there you go. That's only like 6 people, but still, that's it. I'm done. Like it's all the cards have been ordered, both the gift cards and the actual cards, and have sent. So I'm done. I've already done my Christmas shopping. Anyone, because this year I'm not even going to be physically in the States. I'm going to Mexico on a cruise, so I'm not going to be here for
Oh,
Christmas.
in that case, I hope you have a happy holidays on that ride.
Oh yes, yes, yes. I'll be wearing shorts and sipping daiquiris and sitting on a deck with the sun. It's going to be great.
Just be sure you don't enrage it. Last thing we need is the sun coming closer to our faces.
Eh, I'm fine. I'm a person of color. The sun makes me stronger. I'm like Captain Planet. Um, there we go, folks. That's the end of our podcast. Anything you wanna promote before we wrap things up, Jewel?
Well, mostly I've been doing more my 2 coins, but it's gonna have to hold for a week since I
Because you
do
got
got
finals.
finals. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But otherwise,
So that's going to be Monday,
uh,
Tuesday, Monday through Friday finals, or what?
let's just say from Saturday until from Sunday until Saturday, I'm screwed for a while.
Oh, okay then. That means that, but once you're done, you're done. You have the rest of December to just wild out, if you will.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, it's kind of like you have to get through the bitter to get to the sweet. But once you get to the sweet, it's going to be enjoyable.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Oh boy. So I will be having one last,
You're gonna have one last podcast next week before you go out.
one last podcast before BS Busters is out for this week, and then I will be uh, I will be out of town for this year, and
Hmm.
then I'll come back and we'll get started with BS Busters. We'll reset the BS Busters thing. We'll start all the way back at one yet again. We've had a BS Busters almost every week this year, which is amazing. But there you go. So
At least I'm glad to be here for the near the final week of this year
it was
with
a
you.
long race, but we're almost at the end. With that being said, I'm glad uh, my viewers could join us. Remember, rate, comment, subscribe, and share this video so that others can partake in the joy of bullshit busters. And with that, good night.
Night night, everyone.